We are over here at our Newton project. This is a basement renovation that we're turning into not only a work studio for an interior designer, but also an additional bedroom and bathroom. Let's check out the progress. It's always nice when the electrician wires everything temporarily, gets a switch in. Obviously safer to work in a lit space, right? So framing is complete. We had a team of framers come in, do the majority of framing, layout, walls, and stuff like that, and then I bring my finished carpenters in, Mike and Cal, and they spent better part of I believe 3 or 4 days here, really making sure stuff was perfect. So you're gonna see like all these ceilings, there's shims everywhere. Really old house, we wanted these ceilings super flat. I'm gonna get to that in a minute of why this is super important, but let's walk through the space here. So I'm gonna start all the way in the back here. All right, so this room here, this is our front room, we'll call it. And this is going to be gym, maybe, but also, Verizon welcomes us. No, but this is also gonna be kind of a conference room for, her design studio to have a sitting area, probably something super loungy, but really basic in here. You can see we got a header above here. This is actually for a triple sliding door. So we have the option to put a washer dryer. We also upgraded to a Rinnai tankless system with the direct vent outside. This is actually for all the hot water in the house. So I believe it's either 5 or 6 bathrooms in this house. So, and with multiple kids, they wanted to make sure that they weren't losing hot water like they previously were with a more traditional hot water tank. This has now solved that issue. We also have an electrical panel here. So this right here gives us full access to all the mechanicals as well as the option to put a washer dryer in. You can see this, again, we've furred this ceiling down. The guys have done it with some 2x-dimensional stock and use shims to make sure stuff was flat. We wanted to maximize our ceiling where we could, but we are dealing with old framing, old walls, old ceilings, etc. We have this soffit here. This is for some ductwork that was added at another time in another renovation. And we have our windows here that we basically framed up to encapsulate, pull some light in. So once this is drywalled out, we'll have a nice white wall coming in, blasting light through this area. Let's shoot out here. I think I just heard Aimee walk in. What's up, Aimee? We are. Do you want to be on film? What's going on?
Nothing. Hey.
Hey.
How's it going?
Good. So this is Doug.
Hey, Doug. How are you? Nice to meet you.
So Amy's the client and the interior designer. So you actually walked in at a perfect time because we're talking about this area, and this is the vision behind everything, I would say.
Yep. This is going to be my studio space, and we're doing something a little different in here in that we're using fancy plywood.
Fancy plywood.
Fancy plywood on all the walls and the ceilings. So I'm super excited about that.
Yeah.
Just have to figure out how to do it.
I know how we're doing it. So we decided on a Baltic birch, and one of the reasons was because we're not going to miter anything. All our corners are going to have exposed plywood edges, and with Baltic birch you have, I'm not sure of the count, but you have maybe 13 layers versus the traditional 5 or 6, and I could be totally wrong with that, but I know it's significantly more real thin veneer layers, and it stays super flat and it's super stable, which is going to be great because we're going to do our doors with it. We're going to have no trim on the bottom. Everything is going to be floor to ceiling, vertical grain. We're going to do this real cool detail between the panels rather than trying to line them up with, say a domino or a biscuit. We're going to do a small reveal. I know you had spoke to Mike the other day about how we were going to accomplish that. I think we came up with a pretty cool idea. So I think what we're going to do is actually rip down some walnut, and where the plywood's going to be at like a 1/2 inch, we might rip that walnut down to maybe 7/16 by 1/8 inch, and it will sit between the plywood, and when you stand back you have that dark line for the shadow. It will stay consistent.
Cool.
We have a couple mock-ups the guys are working on in the shop.
Awesome.
So,
very cool. Yeah.
But that goes to what I was talking about with the ceiling is being super flat. The plywood, we want walls to be flat, straight. That's where our details are going to come in.
Yeah, we want it to look very utilitarian without
looking utilitarian.
Without you looking utilitarian.
That's why we went fancy
That's
plywood.
kind of the balance. The fancy plywood. And Nick's also going to be doing desks for me, 3 of them actually, which I'm super excited about because I'm working upstairs in the middle of my kitchen.
Right. Which is a great space, but this will be cooler.
Yeah, we're going to have an L desk here, an L desk in this corner, and then a standing height desk so I can look at plans and elevations over here.
And we work on a number of projects together, so it's cool to, almost know where she's going to be looking at the drawings that I say, I need these done tomorrow. I need selections tomorrow. So this is a studio space, but working our way this way, we obviously have this main corridor here. This is all going to be plywood.
Yep.
And we have, existing lockers on the left here, which we're going to actually replace the plywood to be consistent with the Baltic birch. But what is...
We'll swap the hardware to Nick.
Oh, of course. Something cooler.
Black.
Yeah. All right.
Yep.
All right. But in here, let's talk about this.
Yep.
So this originally started as an office, but now we're thinking kids' playroom, kids...
I have 3 young kids, so Nick knows this about me, but I'm a little bit of a neat freak, so I'm looking...
Just a little bit.
So I'm looking for a place for them to be able to do their thing. And
does that mean you won't be allowed in here because you won't be able to handle the mess?
Well, I just can't deal with things like kids now make slime, which is fun.
I've noticed that, yeah.
So they've graduated from paint, which is terrible, to things like slime and small little bead sets, and this is going to be their room to do that. So these little... actually, all the interior rooms, Nick is just going to do a
traditional plaster. Right.
So these are going to be white, our favorite Chantilly lace.
Yes.
And we're going to just do some utilitarian plywood shelves in this space, and they're going to put their paintbrushes and their bead kits and their
mess.
Slime ingredients.
Awesome.
But I'm also going to have a futon in here, and we're going to hang a TV on the wall, and it's going to double as some guest space, so it's not all kid.
So, all right. Talk to me because I know people are going to ask. What's up with the light switches sideways?
So I just thought it'd be fun to do everything sideways, everything backwards.
All right.
So
everything.
Just for fun.
I think the electrician called it the wrong way.
The wrong way. Yeah.
That's
so
cool.
We're gonna do all of our light switches.
Our receptacles, same thing here.
Receptacles, everything the wrong way, just to be
different.
A pain in the ass. Yeah.
I like it. I like it. Some people might disagree with me and you, but that's fine.
I don't know. This space is for me, actually. I renovated the upstairs over the last 3 years, and that was a family space. This space is just for me, so I can do some crazy things like that.
So working our way down, so I had mentioned when we walked in that this isn't only going to be, a design studio, but it's also, we're adding kind of an apartment or, another living space. So we have here, bathroom.
Yep, full bathroom.
Which, let's step back here real quick.
Yeah.
So there was a bathroom here. And
this was actually marketed as having a full bathroom here, not just a...
Is this number 5 or 6?
This will be 6 now because we
6.
added.
Okay.
Yeah, so this house now has 6 bathrooms.
So when I came here, there was a sink, I believe a toilet, and it was 2 sinks. 2 sinks.
A utility sink,
Yes.
a regular sink, a toilet, all not functional. So.
But they were plumbed, they were ready to be used, and they were vented into the wall.
Yes.
So this plumbing that you see here, a lot of this is probably the better part of a week of my plumber's thought process, how we get this to work with code. Luckily, after some exploratory demo, we found a vent that we could tie into on a previous renovation, which thankfully Aimee took photos of. So we were able to 99% be sure that that vent was going to be the right size. So we pulled the fridge out, tied the vent in. Now we're to code down here, inspected, and we are ready to patch the floor and make this a usable bathroom. And one of the benefits of being an interior designer or in that field is that you have a bunch of extra tile.
Yep. You'll recognize. So our client over at 8th Street Reno, I was very conservative on our order because it's cement tile, as Nick knows, is very fragile. And we have a few extra boxes, so I'm calling this my leftover bathroom. But Jules was kind enough to let me put this on the floor, and then I bought some simple white tile to put in the shower to kind of coordinate It's actually porcelain-roasted tile that was left over from one of the bathrooms I did myself upstairs. So
perfect. And being that they're funky when you mash them all together, and they're super funky, it looks right.
I wouldn't have chosen them all together. But they're going to. This is going to be the floor, which is also upstairs in one of the bathrooms I did upstairs. So, I ordered some cool black Brizzo bath hardware, and yeah, we'll call it our leftover bathroom.
Cool. Last room.
Last room, the bedroom.
So originally it wasn't going to be a bedroom. Originally this was existing. This was going to be the art room for the kids because it had this giant, cool industrial sink that was hiding 2 electric panels and a non-vented plumbing stack. But we made, I think, a great decision, and Mary, who's also working on this project, seems to agree that, let's make this a bedroom. We have the ability to add, an egress window, and now we have a bedroom for, additional living space.
Yeah. This is a great resale addition for this house. So we're actually adding a full bedroom. We have the ceiling height we need down here, so that helps. We were able to sneak in a closet by Nick stole from the other side of the hallway.
Borrowed.
And borrowed.
I'll give it that.
Stole. So now, yeah, we have a great swing guest space, including a closet, and I don't think I've talked to you about this yet, but I would love to do a couple shelves over here.
We did.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, great.
We're going to hide a humidifier in there. So the last thing I want to kind of wrap up on is, the flooring in here. This is totally on my plate right now, but in here we're going to do a traditional, probably a carpet, Berber carpet or something.
Yep.
But the rest of the space, being that it is pretty consistent concrete throughout, we're potentially looking into either doing polished concrete, an epoxy coating, a terrazzo
I
coating.
just love the look of terrazzo. I mean, clearly we're not going to be
maybe
terrazzoing a basement. But,
maybe we can mimic it.
But I've seen some cool epoxies,
Sure.
and if anyone can pull that off, it's unique. So maybe a terrazzo look epoxy is what I'm thinking, or just
that's on me now.
Yeah, or just keeping the concrete. I mean, we're going for this look. We're going for this industrial, we hardly tried look. So if it stays like that, then I'm happy with that too.
Cool.
It's a little dirty.
We'll seal it. So that's a quick update on our design studio and living space renovation here in Newton. The bathroom, the bedroom, the kids' space, we have a conference room, and the design studio. So that's where we stand now. So thank you for tuning along, and stay tuned for our next update.